Katie, thank you so much for joining us today. And before we get into anything that we're going to discuss, I want to say congratulations. The last Airport Commission meeting, they voted to offer you or make you the airport manager when Bud Brialt retires. So that will happen, I think, this summer, correct?
That's correct. Thank you very much, Sarah, for saying that. Yes, Bud is retiring. He's been with the airport for about 9 years now. His last day will be June 28th, and he will be missed tremendously. He's a great person to work with, and he's done a lot for the airport during his time here. He has seen many construction projects, including one of the biggest one that probably had most of the public eye on, which is the brand new terminal and the control tower. So that happened in 2011, I believe. So Bud saw that whole process take place, and of course there's been many, many airfield projects that he has been overseeing through the years, whether it's rehabilitation of our runways or our taxiways. He's been here for a lot of that and looked at ways to get funding for those projects. So he's done a lot in his time here, so he'll be missed.
He will be.
Sure.
He will be for sure, but you're definitely, I'm so happy to know that they've put their support behind you and have you come in as the airport manager. I think that's a wonderful choice. So I'm really looking forward to, the work that you're going to do as airport manager coming up.
Thank you very much. I'm kind of excited about the opportunity. I think the airport itself has a lot to offer. I think one of the biggest things, and this can kind of lead into one of our other discussions, is the fact that the airport, it is an airport. It's aviation, transportation. It is basically the connection for the Cape and the islands for air transportation. We also have Peter Pan bus lines that offer service to and from Boston from the airport. So there's a lot going on here, but aviation in itself, goes through cycles. So the airport really has to look at different ways to have different types of revenue streams that not necessarily associated always with aviation. So we are looking at other avenues to pursue. We're looking at some of the land that we have available here on the airport and looking at other opportunities so that the airport really diversifies its revenue stream, really looks at different ways that it can keep the airport going even when we have these cycles. And the cycle I'm speaking about right now, we have nationwide, there's a huge pilot shortage, and it's really affecting the airport. So we really have to be diligent when we're looking at other opportunities. So look forward to seeing some future opportunities within the next couple of years. Myself and the Airport Commission have been working on a marketing plan for the airport to identify where these other types of revenue streams can come from.
Wonderful. I think, there's been a lot of talk about a lot of the land around the airport, so I know this is going to be a topic of conversation for us for quite a few years, like you said. What I do want to talk about is, I know it's a big thing every year, but JetBlue will be returning to the airport.
Yes, JetBlue will be returning. It's going to be their 5th year. We're very excited. They had a very successful year last season for them. They haven't announced their date of return. We have heard May, we have heard June. So they haven't really come out and said exactly which date they would be coming back to the airport. Typically they run from the May-June time frame until about September-October time frame. They do daily flights except during the beginning of the season and the end of the season where you might see them maybe doing 4 flights a day. Mm-hmm. But they do fly to and from JFK. We've had quite a few people, businesses within the Cape region reach out to us in hopes of having even more of a schedule going to JFK. It seems to be an easy route for a lot of people who either want to just go to New York for a long weekend or going to New York for business. So I've actually had quite a few business folks here within Barnstable and within the Cape reach out to me and say, hey, is JetBlue interested in having any other type of service year-round? Because we need to go to New York on a regular basis for work. So we'll be talking to JetBlue about those opportunities.
Yeah, it'd be great to have the opportunity to leave right from Hyannis and go to JFK, and from JFK you can go anywhere.
Exactly,
So,
exactly, and that's a good point to make. I mean, if we can have that connection to JFK, if a family wants to fly to Europe from JFK, or they don't feel like going up to Boston or to Providence to deal with the traffic, then that opportunity is right here at Hyannis, at Barnstable Airport. And we're hoping to expand that service so that people get used to a regular schedule, have the opportunity to perhaps go from here to Florida. That has been a constant comment from many folks about that opportunity. So we are trying to expand the service. I think really what has to happen is we need to hear from folks that are interested in year-round service to and from Florida, year-round service to and from JFK. So I think there's a lot of opportunity here for this airport to expand its service, and we would definitely like to see that.
wonderful. We also want to talk about Cape Cod Coffee has been at the airport for about 2 months now, I would say. About 2 months, would you say?
Cape Cod Coffee, actually, I met the owners of Cape Cod Coffee, I have to say in September. It was during the Cape Cod Young Professionals Bash that we held here at the airport. So that was about the end of September. By October, Cape Cod Coffee had moved into our cafe at the airport. So they've been here for quite some time. It's great coming into work and smelling their delicious coffee. We have many meetings where we use their coffee as well. But they've branched beyond just coffee. They are also making donuts here at the airport. They have fresh donuts every day. They are excellent. I think you indicated that you like the blueberry and the chocolate.
Yes.
So they are excellent donuts. They're very tasty. They also have soups and sandwiches during the day. Right now, their hours are 5:30 in the morning till 1 in the afternoon. They are closed on Sundays here at the airport, but they're open 6 days a week. As soon as we start getting our season going and we start seeing more and more traffic at the airport, which is typical for us and typical for a lot of Cape and Islands businesses, as soon as that starts to have an uptick, they'll change their hours. So, just keep an eye on that. One thing that I did want to say that Cape Cod Coffee is adding, one of the things that they said immediately off the bat when they first got here is that outdoor seating would be ideal for the cafe and for Cape Cod Coffee. So last week they went in front of the town to ask for approval for a liquor license that includes an outdoor patio and outdoor seating. So that was approved. So at some point in time you'll see a new patio out there for outdoor seating, but you'll also see Cape Cod Coffee working with their partners, such as Cape Cod Beer and Cape and Island Distillery, where they'll sell their partners' alcohol here at the airport.
Wonderful. I know there's a want and a need for that, especially when you have events and things at the airport. It'd be nice to have that, and I know travelers like to maybe have a little something while they're waiting for their flight, and it's a great opportunity. And I love the availability of parking for Cape Cod Coffee. It's so nice. You can go right in, and there's a small parking lot to the right of the terminal for employees, but there's a handful of Cape Cod Coffee spaces there, and it makes it so convenient and so easy. You can just park, go in, get what you need, and come right back out.
Exactly, and we just made a decision to do that as soon as Cape Cod Coffee came on board, because one of the things that was causing a problem was that even though we validated parking, so if you went into the cafe and you got a cup of coffee or you got a sandwich, we would validate your parking so you wouldn't have to pay for parking. But many people approached us and said, it's kind of confusing because everybody thinks, oh, we have to pay to park, I'm not going to go to the cafe.
Right.
You're right, that is not the case anymore. We have parking that's located right next to the cafe. It's free to everybody that's using the cafe. We have 10 dedicated spots for the cafe, but you can use any other spots that do not have a dedicated spot. Just come right in. Feel free to come in and buy some coffee from Cape Cod Coffee, or in the future sit out at their patio and sip a nice beer from Cape Cod Beer or from the Cape and Island Distillery.
That's wonderful. One last thing I want to talk about before I let you go is that the Cape Cod Young Professionals Back to Business Bash is coming back to the airport. I know this is a little ways away, but we want to let people know that it will be returning.
Yes. So we had a very successful 2016 and 2017 event. In 2016, we had over 600 participants, which was phenomenal. In 2017, we upped that by adding an additional tent outside in the parking lot, so that provided for 900 participants. You'll see about the same amount of participants return for their 12th year here at the airport. It'll be in September again in 2018, and just look forward to that, and I'm sure you'll see more information as we get closer to that date.
Wonderful. Katie, thank you so much for joining us today and updating us on everything that's going on at the airport. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Sarah.
Have a great day.
You too. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
My guest today is Katie Servis. She's the Assistant Airport Manager at the Barnstable Municipal Airport.